but it was favoring Black Spar simply because Black Spar was away and Lugazi was at home, and they are the likely members to join the sometimes FUFA Premier League next season. Young Elephants was playing on Paraka, and Young Elephants was at home. This game actually ended as Young Elephants were beaten at home 1-2 by Ondu Paraka. Chigezi Homeboys drew 0-0 against Kataka. This result I think was fair for Kataka simply because Chigezi Homeboys was at home and they could not score, they could not concede. Ginger North United also was beaten by Chiinda Boys, the boys from Metiana, with a goal to nil, whereas Boma also won 1-0 to Calvary. That is the update that we got you from the big league. For what we can tell you, that the big league is now nearly ending, and a number of games has actually been played. Therefore, we expect to see how Police will be doing this to make it to the FUFA Satems Uganda Premier League next season. Away from that, we have had the championships, that is the regional championships of girls, which was actually held. The USSA, that is Uganda Senior Secondary School Sports Association, they had organized the regional games for girls in Ibanda town, and we have used a number of grounds, that is the St. George's Arena, we have used Kagongo demonstration, and we have also used the National Teachers College Ibanda. We have also used Nyakatete Primary School playground, where a number of games has actually been taking place, that is in Ibanda district. We have had a series of games whereby we started with round of 32, then we came to round of 16, and the results of round of 16 were quite interesting, as Shema Girls drew 1-1 with Ruhinda SS, whereas Ruhinda SS were eliminated by Shema Girls with 3-0 in penalty shootouts. Ruhinda could not even produce just one penalty at the back of the net, whereas Kashenshero 1 St. Andrews also ended 1-1, and St. Andrews went through on penalties, that is 4-5, and Shuku Vocational, they beat St. Paul's Rushoka 6-0 in the round of 16. Nyagatare also Nyabare also were playing against Ijumo Progressive Primary School there in Chanyakatura. You can hear the name even, but Nyabare went through on penalties. That was 4-3. Ijumo Progressive stayed behind. You can as well tell St. Catherine were playing Chizoba, and Chizoba beat St. Catherine 1-0. Chibingo Girls also beat Chibatsi High School 6-0 to progress to the round of 8. Bonny Conceal beat Nana High School. The Nana High School girls, who had represented Mbarara City, lost bitterly. That was 6-0 in the round of 16. Whereas Chitagata beat Kazoesis. That was 1-0 in the round of 16. From there, we also saw the results that came from the round of 8. That was the quarterfinal, as Shema Girls progressed after winning 3-0. And St. Andrews also was eliminated. Shuku Vocational beat them 3-0 to go through, whereas Nyabare also was beaten in the round of 8 as Chizoba beat them to eliminate them. You could clearly see Chibingo Girls also was eliminated by Bonny Conceal with a 4-0 win. Those are the girls that came through from Bonny Conceal and Shema Girls. Those are the pictures that will get you from Ibanda. I think as I left that place, I had a chat with one of the coaches, that is a Shuku Vocational, who was actually heading for the semi-finals, and I think we talked to the fact that this time around USSA had a system that eliminated some of the pros, the bachubas, as it is commonly known. Within girls, they have not had issues of bachubas, and there was actually no need to raise concern about the bachubas, as teams were winning using the real students and using the real players, unlike the boys who were actually found with some scenarios of maybe hiring out some of the bachubas from different districts to come to a certain district to play some football. I talked to one coach, Claire of Shuku Vocational, and she was positive about the performance of her girls, who actually brought a pride to Shema. You could clearly hear her voice actually telling people that she was redeemed by the support of the fans they found in Ibanda, and the welcoming environment helped these girls to progress to the semi-finals. Meanwhile, in the semi-finals, And one team, Shuk Vocational, was eliminated on a 2-0 loss, seeing Shema Girls beat them with a 2-0 win, and they went through. Shema Girls went through to the finals, as well as how we saw Bonnie Conseil winning and the same finals, and now Bonnie Conseil were crowned the champions of the 2024 regional tournament under USSA. Bonnie Conseil are a school that comes very far from Isinjiro, that is in Chablikwa. You could hear the voices, you could hear the hymns that they were hymning before the game, and they were praying. By the way, they used it as one of their tools. They could pray fast before every one of their games, and after every one of their games they had to go back, kneel down and pray to God to secure their wins. Now they are the champions, that is Bonnie Conseil Girls. They are the champions of the Western region, that is in schools under USSA, the Uganda Secondary Schools Association, organized sports, that is for the girls. We shall see also for boys, which actually is coming right where this week, I think on Thursday, they will be preparing to kick off. We shall all be bringing you the details and the latest that we called you for from there. So for the boys, there have been instances of Bachuba, and for the girls, we have had no instances. This time around, there were no petitions in Uganda, as we expected. Like, schools are using their real students. For girls, schools are using the real students. Only that Bonnie Conseil challenged some of the schools simply because they had girls who had played earlier in the Stambik Uganda Cup. You remember how they came to Mbarara and beat Shigist with a 1-1 draw, and at the end of it all, they had to win a 4-2 on penalties in the Uganda Cup. That means they had vast experience within the football sector. I remember they were also represented by some of the girls who are playing in the elite league, and they are still students at Bonnie Conseil Vocational there in Isinjiro. So away from that, we have had a number of games that is in the 2024 ED tournament. We have seen the likes of ex-internationals calling and crossing the line, qualifying for the first time ever to the semi-finals of the ED Cup since time immemorial. There's no time that we remember when ex-international had crossed from the group stages, round of 16, then going to the quarterfinals and crossing the semi-finals. This has been their first time when they have crossed from the round of 8, that is the quarterfinal, to the semi-finals. This time around, they're going to be playing Mbarara Central Market. Actually, we shall have that game later on today at 2 p.m. that is in Nyamtyobora, and we're expecting some turn up of fans, simply because we have seen pictures from Nyamtyobora where fans have gathered in large numbers to watch the ED tournament. Today we shall also have another game of Tigers, that is the semi-final 2 at 4 p.m. that is at Nyamtyobora, whereby the ED Cup is expected to be played at Kacheka not later than the ED day, which we expect to be either tomorrow or on Wednesday. Therefore, the semi-finals are being played today later in the evening at Nyamtyobora Primary School playground. We expect to see Central Market, which actually organized and signed some of the good players from around and from outside Mbarara. Therefore, we really think that this is going to be an exciting game, and it's going to be an exciting day at Nyamtyobora if all goes well, and if we don't have rain like we had on Friday and Saturday, where Team Weldon and Team Gistband were playing under adverse conditions, especially in rainfall and mud. You remember, you know what happened at Nyamtyobora when it rains. We saw the likes of Klasim Uvise, who was man of the match in that game of Somali Stars playing Tigers in the last quarter-final game. That was Tigers playing Somali Stars. We also saw the goalkeeper of ex-international becoming player of the match at Nyamtyobora as they were playing that last game against Tipa, which they won narrowly with a goal courtesy of Kabeo Moses that put them ahead against Tipa for almost over 70 minutes played. Therefore, we shall see the tie between ex-internationals who will be playing Tigers, and the other side we shall see this band who will be tying their bands to play against the Tigers in these semi-finals. So we expect to have the ED 2024 Cup final played at Kacheka Stadium either tomorrow, Tuesday, or Wednesday, that is 11th. So expect all the action to be covered, and we shall be bringing you all those details here like we promised. Elsewhere in the FIFA executive tour, we have seen the conclusion of these tours in Buganda region, where we have seen a conclusion of these tours at Solview Hotel in Iganga. We have seen this end at districts of Bujiri, Bugweri, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja, Kaliro, Kamuri, and this actually will continue as earlier promised. Therefore, we expect the likes of Ankole also to be one of the parties that shall be enjoyed here. They will visit, that is Mbara City District Football Association, Mbara District Football Association, and they will also visit Wampara, they will visit Isinjiro, they will visit somewhere like Ibanda, and we expect them to change a lot on ground. So the FIFA Executive Countrywide Tour 2024 is still going on, and we will be bringing you all the details that come through from this very tour. It's our game, it's our country. We expect some tight discussions over there, as we need to develop football from grassroots levels. Elsewhere in the Southern's FIFA Premier League, we had a number of games, and the results were not convincing either for some of the teams like Mbara City, who were playing at home against Maroons. Maroons came here at Kacheka, passed the ball everywhere. Maroons challenged us actually on ground. They were playing some very good football, some passing football. They really challenged us. We could not score against them, and neither could they score against us here at Kacheka. Therefore, that draw puts us in position to demand or to need or to become gracefully helped by the divine intervention, as we are nearly getting closer to stay afloat within this league. That means we need at least more 3 points to secure our stay in the sometimes FIFA Premier League. As that game concluded, every fan was on their knees praying that we should not concede, which would result into some of bad feelings and maybe fear for the players that we are going to be relegated as Mbara City. But this time around, we're a bit safe. I can say a bit safe, as we need just one more win to secure our stay in the sometimes FIFA Premier League. That means in case we win the next game, we shall be safe. That is Mbara City. If they win the next game, they will be safe to stay afloat in the Southern FIFA Big League this season 2023-2024. Away from that, let me take you to cricket, whereby we have had a new captain chosen, the Victoria Pearls, that is the national team for cricket, who are heading to United Arab Emirates to play the T20 Cricket Women World Cup qualifiers, which will be held in the capital, Dubai. We have had voices from Kosi Aweko, that is the captain of Victoria Pearls, and the team has actually been named with only one change from that team that traveled to Accra in Ghana to represent Uganda for the All Africa Games 2024. So therefore, Team Uganda is led by Janat Mbabazi, who has actually been the assistant captain to Kosi Aweko as they were playing all those series behind. This time around, Kosi Aweko, who was elected in 2022 to 2024, has now been succeeded by Janat Mbabazi, who is taking over from Kosi Aweko. And this time around, the second player in this team that has been called up is Rita Musamali, that is the vice captain, and Kosi Aweko, who has been the captain, has now been named amongst the players who are going to travel to United Arab Emirates. Evelyn Anyepo, Kevin Awino, Stefani Nampima, Immaculate Nachisui, Sarah Akiteng, Sarah Walaza, Fiona Kulume, Lorana Anyat, Melissa Oriokot, and Proskovia Alako, Gloria Obukol, whereas Esther Iloko comes in as the new entrant in this team. Remember, they are going for the ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifier, and they will be playing somewhere in Dubai, that is in the country of Abu Dhabi, like most of us know it. Elsewhere, in the sometimes Uganda FIFA Premier League, we have seen Vipers coming back to their winning ways. That is, when it comes to night football, Vipers actually have been indomitable. They have been unbogable and unbeatable at home St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende. So this time around, they won 2-1 against struggling UPDF. The goal for UPDF was actually scored by Tenywa, that is a boy who comes from a family that is remembered for the 2003 Uganda-Rwanda game at Nambole. If you remember Suleiman Tenywa, what he did in 2003. So Alan Okello scored a beauty, as El Kambale Kenzo also scored one of his fewest goals at St. Mary's Stadium H10 to give Vipers a win in this game. We have had actually the exclusive rumors about Charles Livingstone Mbabazi, as this man is in silent, actually in clandestine or dark talks with Ginger North United, a team that is in big league. So I just don't know what is happening to Coach Charles Livingstone Mbabazi. He has been quietly dismissed away from Vipers. Like I told you the other time around, he was slapped with some of the fines, slapped with suspensions at Vipers, but this time around he has been quietly and silently chased from Vipers and being replaced by Muhumza, a former Uganda Crane star and a former URA, by the way, who brings vast experience to these players, as he has been there against the Express. You remember how Muhumza is slowly taking on that helm of Vipers. Therefore, Coach Charles Livingstone Mbabazi is in dark talks, we can call them dark talks, with Ginger North United, a team that is struggling somewhere in the Fufa Sims Uganda, a big league. That is the update we can get you from there. And in some other games, Bull also beat Wakiso Giant 3-0 at home, whereas goals were scored by Chiria in 25th minute, and Alex Chizata also scored a brace to make his tally. I think now he is either 11 or 10, I'm not sure, but I think he's 11 now. After scoring 2, he had 9 earlier on. After scoring 2, I think he has 11 goals, and he's coming up to 3rd position, the top scorers, like Nelson Sekatuka, who pushed to 13, and Mohamed Shaban Jagason for Kampala Capital City Authority, who also pushed to 13. I think this time around the table of top scorers is too tight in the Satams Fufa Uganda Premier League. We just don't know who's going to win this, but let's just keep our eyes open and wait for who is going to win that. And elsewhere in German Bundesliga, Helderhin came to Allianz Arena, that is in German Bundesliga. They visited Bayern for their very first time in this league, in Bundesliga, and beat Bayern 3-2. You remember what happened? Hurricane scored in the 38th minute, and Sergi Gnabry scored in the 45th minute, and these guys relaxed. Bayern thought they had won it all against Heidenheim. And now Ken Sessa scored in 50th minute. Tommy Kelden scored also in the 51st minute, whereas Kelden scored his second in the 79th minute to make it 3-2, a win that actually helped them to win for their very first time at the Allianz Stadium that is in Munich. Elsewhere, Mohamed Salah scored his 14th goal against Manchester United, a number that takes him to the most goals scored by just one player against Manchester United in 100 years history. So Mohamed Salah becomes the first player elsewhere against Alan Shearer to score as many goals as 14 against Manchester United, single-handedly scoring a penalty that Liverpool got was biased. That was a 50-50 call for the referee to give to Mohamed Salah to score his 14th goal against Manchester United. That was in English Premier League last evening at Old Trafford, as the game ended into a draw. That was 2-2. Alejandro Garnacho had earlier on built a run that helped Manchester United to get their first goal, but this time around they could not slip, they could not sit to that to secure all the 3 points. But I can as well tell you that this draw helped Liverpool to stay second on the table, as they had to tie with Man City after those 31 games. Arsenal leads the table with 71 actually Liverpool leads the table now this time around with an expectation of Arsenal getting down after playing Manchester United. That is an expectation. That's what Jurgen Klopp told us, that we lead the table with an expectation of Manchester United losing or beating Arsenal. If Arsenal loses at Old Trafford, they will be at the top of the table. That is after all these 3 games. Liverpool are now expectant of leading the table again, but Arsenal still takes control of the English Premier League, and now we expect Man City, who are third on this table log, we expect them to have an advantage. That is according to Opta Statistics, who have now ranked Man City with the leading percentage of taking the Premier League trophy this season around. Aston Villa and Spurs Manchester not really a penalty. What is the role of VAR in this one? What do we expect from VAR? But if you can see, that is the penalty incident against Manchester United. However, everybody expected this call to be done by VAR, as it was too tight for Manchester United to call. Everybody was disagreeing in dismay, but that is what happened. I think that penalty there was a decision that we really need to respect. So elsewhere, within still England, we have seen the under-19s Premier League, United beating Liverpool 9-1. We have seen Ethan Whitley scoring a hat-trick, and James Scallon also coming to score sheet, scoring twice, and Cabe Bianchi also scoring 2 goals, Ashton Mason and Ethan Williams also scoring, and somewhere also in the under-15s, United still beat Liverpool 5-1, and this is how the English Premier League is going down in the unders, that is in the under category. We have seen also Chelsea struggle to win some games, as they had to struggle to also secure a point. Thiago Silva scored first for Chelsea to secure them just hopes, but they could not end up winning. Somewhere in the English Premier League, everything is relying on hopes. Meanwhile, we saw Arsenal taking a lead while they scored through Bukayo Saka, and was restoring the happiness for Arsenal fans, as they were also supporting and playing against the loss of Liverpool. You know, this time around, some Liverpool fans were now saying Arsenal is backing them, or they are backing Manchester United, simply because they're in competition later in the evening. That is in the Sports Zone, 3 to 4 p.m. like we do it Monday to Friday, Blaze Sport in the morning, and then the Sports Zone coming at 3 to 4 p.m. every weekday. Edgar will be coming back, that is for the hot spot. He will be taking you through the rest of the program, Morning Blaze. Good morning.